Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first edition of the Cloudstream. What is the Cloudstream? Well, it's a monthly YouTube cloud stream focused on Cloudsmith technologies. It will hopefully be the first of many episodes. Our audience is mostly a technical crowd, DevOps types folks, but everybody is welcome to join. So please ask questions. None are too big or too small. We do ask, however, if you have a question, to start the question in the comment section with a capital Q and a colon. Something like this. We're looking to have fun. It's going to be a friendly, casual conversation. So come hang out, learn something new, ask us questions, goof off with us a little bit, and let's enjoy our time together. We also have some swag, so you could win some prizes. So you might be asking yourself, who are these two yahoos on the screen? Well, I am Michael McIsaac, a solutions architect with Cloudsmith, and right beside me is...
Hey folks, Adil Lagari here. I head up the solution architecture team here at Cloudsmith. Nice to meet y'all.
Adil, we made it. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, a lot of time, a lot of tech, but we are here.
Yep, I love it. I love the little production value we've got going with the titles. Very cool.
Adil, you've killed it. I mean, look at this. I just have to repeat this. I got to geek out on all this. Watch this. Look at this. Boom. Adil did that.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
I like the little spinny thing at the end. That's nice. Such a nerd.
All right. Well, should we get to it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it.
All right. So what do we have in store for all you folks? Well, we have a few segments. First one is going to be a feature focus where we focus on some Cloudsmith technology, in particular, a specific feature. I'll let Dil tell you all about what we're going to look at today. Then we're going to have, excuse me, the acronym of the day, because you know what? In technology, we do not have enough acronyms. Let's just...
Oh yeah, we need more. We definitely need more. Hey, by the way, where the heck am I on the screen? Like, can you throw me on?
That's a really good question.
Magic
You know what?
Technology.
Speaking of technology, we have this really, really cool tech that we're using called Ecamm Live Pro. Now,
Hey,
that's me,
almost there.
but we
Yeah.
don't want me. We want Adil, right? So
I think
with
so.
the magic of technology, boom, there he is.
Boom. Look at that.
Whoa,
We
my
did it
mind
live.
is blown. We did it live and it worked. That's the most exciting part.
The demo gods are with us.
Well, so far, let's knock on wood because we know how this is going to roll, right? There will be technical errors to be done.
It's our first one. It's our first one, folks. So bear with us. We're definitely working out some kinks, and you get to say you were there first, or you were there before we were cool.
Well, if we ever get cool.
Yeah.
All right. Another segment. Ooh, it's the Rando segment. So the thing I love about this, it's random for Adil, it's random for everybody else, but not for me. I know when it's going to happen.
Okay.
I know what's going to
I see.
happen. So, don't judge.
I have not been prepped for this.
Nobody's prepped for that one. We also have a guest spot, and today we have an amazing guest who we will introduce.
We sure do.
I will give a hint. She is very intelligent and very amazing.
And a very awesome colleague of ours.
Very, very true. And then we're going to round things out with the AV Club because we love tech. We're geeks. We love talking about it. It's going to happen.
We nerd out on tech toys. Yep.
All right. So let's move along, shall we? Ooh, look at what we got here. Our feature focus.
Nice.
What is the feature
Okay.
focus,
Well,
Adil?
I'm hopping over here because I had the wrong window open. That always helps. The feature focus today, well, kind of the way we thought we'd start this, right, Mike, is we really wanted to give a little bit of an intro to Cloudsmith. Now, this isn't a full-on demo. Don't worry, it's not going to be death by PowerPoint. We're actually going to just do it in the actual stream and just show you. And feel free to hop on and ask questions. I'm not going to watch the question chat so much. Mike will. And let me know. And Mike can actually pull stuff on screen. So actually, before we get into the demo or any of this stuff, we should probably pull in and have a few shout outs to people in the chat who are coming up. So don't be surprised if you show up on the screen. So thanks so much for showing up, everyone. I think pull up a few people.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up. Well, I have to pull up the one I think is the best so far. I just have to.
Mhm.
We have to thank Andrew for this one.
Oh yeah,
Oh, where did it go? There it is. Awesome
thank you.
production value.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Andrew. Andrew is a dear friend to the show, and I'm glad that he showed up and supported us. And he said he was low key dancing right now too, so I'm down with that. Yeah.
Fantastic. So I
Mhm.
guess the big question now is, how do I get rid of that? Oh, it's just that easy. It's just that easy. Whew.
Yeah, yeah, that makes it simple. Rock on. Well, thanks everyone. I'm going to shout out a few more folks real quick. Gilbert, thanks for showing up. Josh, Dave McConville, our colleague here, is here, and a bunch of folks that are in the community as well. Other folks we know like Phil Heron. We've got Frank Quinn here, and just thank you for showing up and being present, being part of the show. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. Like Mike said before, you can use the Q colon. It doesn't have to be a capital Q, but just a Q colon so that we know to pull it up on the screen and we can address it. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to shout out. Let me just hop in and show you a little bit about it. So virtually, what is Cloudmith, right? Like who the heck are we is the first easy question. So we are your universal cloud native artifact repository, right? Think of us as your everything repo. So any package, any format, everywhere in the world, right? We do the scaling for you and all that stuff. So we're global, we're cloud native, we're secure, we're universal, and yada yada yada. I'm not going to bore you with the facts. Let's get into it. Let's actually play around with a tool because that's why we're here. So easy login. I'm at cloudsmith.io. I can simply go use my Google single sign-on if I have a Google account. Again, we support a bunch of SSO options like Amazon, Microsoft Graph, GitLab, GitHub, all the big ones, Okta. And if you have your own SAML SSO provider, we have a link for that where you can connect that up as well to Cloudsmith. But I'm just going to click the Google single sign-on link because it works for me. And I have two-factor authentication enabled, which you should have, obviously. And we'll hop in and actually show you around a little bit. So when you first log in, it's a free trial, 14 days, unlimited. You can play as much as you want, and we don't require a credit card. So you don't need a credit card to sign up. That's the best part of this deal. We don't. After the 14 days, you switch to a core free account. If you don't want to sign up for the services, totally fine. So you have the option to just play with us and use the free or core account limits as well if you want to. I'm going to switch over here and show you my Cloudsmith demo org. Now, the important thing is when you first sign up, obviously you just you'll have nothing there yet, so you have to set up an organization and a repository. Two things to do. You can literally set up an org and a repo, y'all, in less than 60 seconds, and we've shown it in a video just to prove it to you. So there's a URL that'll come up on the screen here in a sec, tiny.cc/0 to 60. So literally, you can go from 0 to repo in 60 seconds, as quick as that. And so you obviously first two things, you set up an org, set up an repo, and then you're here. So these are a couple of the repos that I have in our demo org. I'm going to click on examples repo here just to show off some of this stuff. Josh is mentioning in the chat, he said can confirm, because I know that Josh has probably set one up. Thanks for doing that. Josh is one of our good buddies from Chocolatey. Check out chocolatey.org if you ever want to install software on Windows. Very cool product.
And
Okay.
sorry, Dale, I was going to say,
Yeah.
the 0 to 60 thing is no joke. We've timed it. It's real. Check out the video.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so now we're in a repo. I'm just going to show you this examples repo. The cool thing about this is, what kind of repo is this, Mike?
Sorry, was that a question to me? I missed that.
Yes, that was a question to you. What kind of repo? Is this a NuGet repo or a Conda repo or?
Dude, it's an everything repo. It's a universal repository. It's multi-format by design, and there's good reasons for that.
That's the best part of this is you can stick any different kind of package in here. You can even use a raw package of your own definition. But essentially, we support 28 plus different package formats, and we're the only solution that supports them all in the same repo, right? So you don't need to create a different repo for each different type of package. So down here, you can see I have, Dart, Conda, raw package, RPM package, a little bit of everything Go packages. We have some container images here too. Cool thing with that little red shield you see there, we actually do CVE scanning for container images. So not only will you see the image come up here, but you can actually check and see if it has any vulnerabilities reported by CVE scans, and the CVEs are reported right in here. An added little feature we have specifically for Docker container images. There's another cool feature coming for container images, but I'm going to leave that for our guest as well to talk about. So our feature spotlight for today, or our feature focus, is going to be entitlement tokens. So like basically the idea behind this is, the ways that you can log into our tool, right? Obviously through single sign-on and creating a user and team, the standard RBAC model, the role-based access control model. You assign a user to a team, and you assign that team to a different role, be it read, write, or admin. That's the standard process that most people know about. Now, if you're using your repo to actually distribute packages around the world, if you're using it to distribute packages to customers, let's say you have a subscription-based model and you want to give packages, to have users sign up for packages and give them like a 1-year access to your package, right? A single package in your repository, or a single version of a package, or a single OS or architecture. You can get as granular as you want with this, right, Mike?
This is very, very true. So one thing I was going to bring up too, just to clarification for myself and the folks out there, this is also
Absolutely.
a private repository, right?
Yes,
That we're
this is
looking
a
at
private
right
repo. Very good point.
So explain to us, it's a private repo. I don't have time to sign up for your organization or your team and become a user, but I want your software.
Yep, I gotcha. Exactly. So there's three different types of repos, technically, just to clarify. There's open source repositories. So there's an OSS repository model. If you're an OSS maintainer, feel free to reach out to us and set up an account. We have very liberal limits, and we will even increase them for you if you need it as an OSS user. So please think of us as a place to store your packages with a little bit more control. And there's public repositories and private repositories then, essentially, right? So a public repository, of course, you're not going to have control over it. It's read-only. Everybody can see it because that's the nature of a public repo. However, hold on one second. Yeah, apologies. I don't know if that siren is me or Mike or somebody else.
Oh, it is probably me. Let me mute that. This is the demo gods just giving us a little warning.
Yeah, no worries. We're all good. So the important thing about a private repo is a private repo you want to be able to control access to, right? It's your private packages, or it's your packages that you're vending on to customers, etc. So the control around it is the important part. So the private repo means that only people who have access in your organization can, through the role-based access control model or single sign-on, can access that the packages. But the other piece of this is entitlement tokens. Now, let's say you turn around, you want to give these packages out to users that are not a part of your org, like you said, Mike. Then we can use entitlement tokens. Entitlement tokens are essentially, think of them as a read-only API token that you can use to control any sort of access you want. So let's say I wanted to control access to an individual package. I'm going to edit my token here called a DILS test just to show you. You can set any sort of visibility restriction. You can set usage restrictions. Pretty much anything you can dream of. You can basically think up a regex or search filter that you want, and you can restrict by it. Now, you can see here, I've set the name to be Cloudsmith Debian example. I've set it to only be visible for one package. So this entitlement token can only download this one individual package. Now, if I scroll down here, you can see I have, like, the world is my oyster in terms of I have an infinite amount of options for things that I can control by. So I can set my search filter to be a specific name for a package, a specific file name or a package tag. I could even set a package architecture that's specific distro, if it's Deb or RPM or something. We can set a specific license and a specific type of package and size, et cetera, and upload it date. So there's a lot of things. If I can keep doing down this form, but essentially you can have any type of field type modifier that you can control by. So that's search restrictions. Then also we have the path itself, so the very URI to the package, you can restrict by. In addition to that, we have usage restrictions. So let's say I only want to have a time window here. Let's say I give a 1-year license to somebody. They only should be able to access this one package for 1 year because that's all they signed up for in terms of their subscription. So I can set my time window valid from UTC, expires at UTC, and UTC is the best. So there's no confusion in terms of time zones. And of course, you set a maximum download, maximum client IPs. You can set anything you want there. So you can restrict by IP, you can restrict by number of downloads, and you can restrict by number of bandwidth. So, if you are on a paid account and you want to control how much bandwidth a single user or single package consumer can use, then you can control that as well. On that. And down here, of course, this says metadata, so you can basically assign any custom metadata JSON tag. So pretty much anything you can dream of, you can assign as a tag as well for this entitlement repo to be restricted by as well. So it'll be enabled. I can edit, and I can also require EULA acceptance. This is a cool little feature that Lee, our CTO himself, worked on, which I love. And that is, I'm going to shout it out, which is the EULA acceptance. So if you have a specific end user license agreement for your repository that you want entitlement users to agree to before they can consume packages, that will show up in their native tooling, whatever they're doing a NuGet or list or a Docker list command. So I'm going to cancel this out here
And
because I've already created the repo. Go ahead, Mike.
sorry, Dale. I just want to say this is super cool, super flexible, super granular. And when you were showing some of those code samples, I just have to put out a shameless plug to our colleague Dan McKinney.
Oh yeah.
The docs are amazing, code samples are
Mhm.
amazing. It just makes life easy. I mean, I'm gushing, but I have to say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to Jen. So underneath this little exclamation point that is me and Mike, the set me up button over here, the set me up button has a drop down, so you can actually choose your different format you're connecting from. So any repo out there, any format, then we abstract away the complexity of the metadata of that custom tooling. So if you're going to do a Docker list command, or you're going to do a NuGet list, or any package format you want, you're going to only see the custom metadata for that individual package source. So I'm going to just take NuGet as an example because it's near and dear to my heart because I'm a NuGet guy. And you actually have the contextual documentation, which is the killer here. And this is what we have Dan to thank for, as well as the API docs, of course, and the reference docs. But you get the ability to set up the source if you're a Chocolatey user, if you're a NuGet user, or even if you're a PowerShell user. You have the code right there for you to be able to quickly set up. So a contextual doc exists for each example. And I can see, Mike, you've thrown a question from Josh in the chat up there.
I have. It was too good of a question to miss out on. So yeah, if you can answer this for Josh, that would be amazing.
Sure, let's read it out first for everyone. So read the multi-format repos. How are clients prevented from getting confused, i.e. seeing formats they can't consume? URI to the repo different per format or some other magic? Good question. So of course, the URI is distinct for each format, package format, so you'll see that. But in addition to that, they also can only see the packages you've allowed in the entitlement token. So you can set your package to be you can set your entitlement token to be restricted by package type or format, so they won't even see the other stuff. But the other cool magic behind the scenes is each custom URL for each package format, they're going to have their own custom metadata in that feed that will only show them packages of that format. So if you do a Docker list command against this repo or a NuGet list, for Docker, you're only going to see the Docker images. That's just by design. We make it that way so the URI and the metadata behind it is custom. And if you look for NuGet packages, you're only going to see this package and a couple other NuGet packages. So that's actually the magic of it. You actually don't even need to worry about the nice little pieces there. So we abstract away that complexity for you. So that's where this really is a multi-format repo in terms of you can throw everything in here, but the native tooling will only see the specific format that you're looking for. So it's kind of like you get the best of both worlds there.
That's nice work, Adil. We do have one other question from Gilbert. If you can field this one as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Gilbert didn't use the Q colon, but that's okay. I still love you. Are the examples of how to set up entitlements for your package manager to use? Are there examples? Yep, exactly. So you can see how it works for different package managers. That would be in part of that set me up button that we drop down. So you can use, the great thing about the set me up is, let's say we go to NuGet specifically, and I know Gilbert's a NuGet user because he uses Chocolatey packages as well. So over here, you've got your setup for your repository, of course, but up here, you'll see the auth basic user. Let's say we change that to API key. So we can set that individual entitlement code token as the choice here. And this will give you the contextual doc for that individual user. So they're going to have the API key for that specific thing. So that token is in there already. I'm going to have to reset that token after because I've shown it on stream, but that's fine. Y'all can go and ransack this repo if you really want to with that API key. Not a problem here. I will be resetting it after the stream. But yeah, you can see the custom NuGet URI that's there, but we also give you the option in the contextual drop to drop down. And I really should move this over, shouldn't I? Let me unzoom this a bit. So let's see. Yeah, right there. So in the contextual doc, you see this authorization little button up here, and you can see that I'm actually using an entitlement token. I can use basic auth API key or entitlement token here as my option. And so if I choose my Adil's test specific entitlement token, it's going to give me that individual command to use that specific thing. So it's kind of cool. It'll actually adjust the contextual docs live, as dynamically as you change it. So super cool little feature there. Now, if I want to show this off, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger again. Yep, perfect. So now I have the ability with a NuGet package, let's say. So this was only allowed one package in here. I believe it was Cloudsmith Debian example. So you can actually see this token working live, the entitlement token. So if I drop down this entitlement token download, the little cloud download button, and I use that arrow for the entitlement to select my authentication method, I can actually say I want to download this package as a specific token or as a specific user to actually test it working live in the web UI. I don't even need to go to the API and use the command line for this. So if I want to test this with the DILS test here, I'm going to click that API token, and it's going to, there you go. So it started downloading that package. Great. That means that that is what I had entitled for that package. Now, if I go to download a different package here, if I roll over to our Ruby package here, let's say Ruby gem called hello, and I try and download that with my DILS test token, this shouldn't work, right? By design. So let's see it. Yep, exactly. There you go. I try to download using that. I don't have access to that because that entitlement token is what I was using to connect. So there you have it. It's working live. That's how it functions to limit that. So entitlement tokens, I really feel are like our secret weapon there when it comes to a lot of this stuff. But yeah, that was kind of just one feature we wanted to show off a little bit in Feature Focus. We're going to change this every week and have a little bit of dynamic content for you. I'll give you a little bit of intro about Cloudsmith on the front, but believe me, my intention is not to bore you. But Gilbert and Josh, thank you so much for the questions in the chat, because that's really how we all learn and we improve here, right? We're here for you. We're here for the community, and that's what this stream is about. So show up to the chat and ask your questions, and we'd be happy to dive in. And believe me, throughout the whole chat, don't worry about interrupting us, because as Mike has shown already, that we don't worry about interrupting each other.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll get better with that. But that was awesome, Adil. And we slid the exclamation mark over. I think maybe just in time. I could have done it sooner, but we got to see a little bit more of the screen there. Technology, man. So excited.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you for your everybody should shout out and appreciate Mike's production value here. He's the producer of this stream, so he's doing a great job. You're doing a great job, buddy.
Thanks, dude. It's stressful, but somebody's got to do it.
Right. Go for it. Yeah.
Should we move on to the next segment?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Rando.
Oh, that's where Rando is.
Oh, it's happening. Again, this is straight from my brain. No judgment, please. Oh, you know what? That's me. I was tempting the demo gods. I was talking a bit there. Sorry about that, folks. The volume is maxed out on this video. I'm just going to hit play. I love gold. That's my voiceover. It was untimed. It was unplanned. It does look like things are frozen because things have gotten weird. Adil, can you hear me? Oh. It's not good.
Hey, Michael.
Sorry, Kira. I think something weird happened there.
Hey, I think yeah, definitely. I think next time we'll test the gifting before we throw it up. That's funny. Yeah, we told you it was gonna get random.
Yeah, things got random and weird and just broke. So, quick question: did anybody even see that video that was played?
The video came up on the screen, but I think it just froze like initially, and then I think you played it again, but we didn't hear the audio part.
Wow.
I think.
Oh, somebody heard the voiceover.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Frank heard the voiceover. That was my gold member impression. So we could talk about this briefly.
I heard the voiceover as well.
Our secret guest is hopping on.
I thought it was a mistake.
Well, it was all a mistake. So yeah. So anyway, it happened.
Right along.
Gold member happened. We moved away from it quickly, like I think the whole world has from that movie. I mean,
Canadian.
He has. Yep, he's Canadian. Fellow Mike Myers. He hasn't been canceled yet, I don't think. Anyway.
Yet is the key.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on indeed. Okay, so straight from the rando segment to the acronym of the day.
Yep.
Acronym of the day. What is it today? Kira's going to be shocked. It is SBOM.
SBOM.
Adil.
Yep.
don't give too much away. But what is an SBOM?
I think I know this one. I believe it's software bill of materials.
You got
Boom.
it. You got it. So, I mean, no need for us to talk about this. Our amazing
I
guest
will
spot.
say just real quick, not to interject here, Mike, but I will say that Dan, our lovely Dan McKinney, DevRel Dan, has corrected me before and said it can also stand for system bill of materials, depending on who you're asking. There's nerds out there in the audience who are very particular about this, so I will I will put that in there. It can also be system bill of materials. But yes, as you said, we don't need to talk more about this because we have an expert on the stream with us today, our guest spotlight. So let's pass over to her. Hello.
Hi, how are you? I would say software bill of materials. If I
Yeah.
was
Okay. Fair enough. Well, you'd be the expert. So this is Kara Carey, everyone from Developer Relations.
let's yeah.
Like a true ex developer, she doesn't like to call herself an expert, which is great. None of us do. Everybody's seen the YouTube meme about our experts, but I will say we're very honored and amazed to have the lovely Kara Carey from Developer Relations with us today from Cloudsmith. Kara, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, so I'm Kira Carey. I work in developer relations in Cloudsmith, and before this, for like over 10 years, I was a developer. So developer relations is newish to me. I've been in it for over a year now, so basically an expert.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah. Well, the great part is you've been involved in the community and in open source as well, and you've been a dev for a while. So that's really who we want to hear from, the people who are the boots on the ground, right? And I think you bring your unique view to that and your unique approach to developer relations, and we love it. So I think you've done a lot. I have to say, shout out to you for the community in terms of being involved in the Open Source Software Foundation projects, and you've been diving pretty deep into our SBOM, our new SBOM feature implementation, right?
I feel like I'm more of a listener of the open source community than a. I drink it all in, but I'm not sure how much I'm. But I bring it back to Cloudsmith.
Yeah, you sure do. So wait, while you're here, we should do this. Everybody, go follow Kira on Twitter. Kira, what's your Twitter? What's your Twitter handle?
It's like Kira Carey and then underscore. It's not great.
An underscore. You threw it in there. Oh, come on. I'd say
Kira Carey. Maybe I should have.
I love underscores. Just go with it. Embrace it.
Like 205, and then someone was like, "Are you a bot?"
Yeah.
So I just talk
throw
about
a link in the comments here.
I just talk about like supply chain security stuff. That's my main topic.
Nice. I think that's awesome. This is fantastic. Well, on that topic, should we actually get to it? I mean, you've got tons of stuff to show us. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and get educated.
Yes. Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about what a SBOM is first, Kira? So for our audience.
So software bill of materials should list all the components in your software, your licenses, your third-party dependencies, your proprietary software, open source software, and other stuff, other like metadata, like checksums, stuff like that. So it all kicked off last year. They've been around probably for a long time, but people were only interested in them sort of starting last year with the supply chain attacks from the big one on SolarWinds. That was awful. And there's other stuff. There was like vulnerabilities exposed on public repositories. So these are, you get your open source from these public repositories. It's amazing, but you need to make sure that you know what's in it and you can trust a package, because if it's in your software, then it's part of your software. So, and it's
so along those lines, I just wanted to add, I think, so that I'm understanding this correctly too. I think this is part of that whole initiative that we have around securing the software supply chain, right? I think not just SolarWinds, but even Log4j is another one. The Log4Shell attack, that was huge. Nobody had an idea of where it was included.
Yeah, like an SBOM is the Log4j is just perfectly aligned with how you can use SBOMs. I mean, if you have an SBOM, an accurate SBOM for your software, you can set up some sort of continuous security where you're constantly monitoring your SBOM maybe nightly for new vulnerabilities, and if a new one is big enough, is critical enough, you can say notify people or stop that image being deployed. So that would be an action you can take on an SBOM. So you can do that with, so which is great.
Nice. So along those lines, what are we doing for SBOMs and Cloudsmith? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so a really nice way to so ours is for, say, Cloudsmith supports over 28 different types of packages, including Docker images. So for our container registry now integrates with Cosign technology, which is part of the SigStore project, which is their whole reason for being is to help you sign artifacts, whether they're container images or binaries or attestations or SBOMs. So you can create your SBOM for your container image, push it to attach it to your image, which is hosted on a container registry like Cloudsmith. And that can be signed, and you can verify the SBOM. You can actually use Cosign to sign the image. You can verify that image, that it's signed by the right person, and all the signatures match up. And then you can continuously monitor that SBOM then, if you
Nice. Nice. Well, we would like. I think this is great. So for those folks who are kind of new to SBOM or software bill of materials and software supply chain security, we did have a Linux Foundation webinar. You can find it on our Cloudsmith channel, where we talked a little bit about supply chain security and everything you wanted to know about it. So feel free to check that out sometime if you want. It'll give you a little bit more background on this. We had our good friend of the show, Dan Lawrence from ChainGuard, on there. Shout out to the ChainGuard team. A lot of those folks are open source contributors to SigStore and Cosign. So we love that project. Definitely, start on GitHub and check it out, because they're early to the game here in terms of providing SBOM resources. Because I think a lot of formats, correct me if I'm wrong, Kira, they haven't really decided yet how they're going to be using SBOM or implementing it.
I suppose like the nicest workflow is working with what I've seen is working with container images. There's a lot of tools to generate the SBOM, and then now using Cosign, you can attach it to the image so it's right beside the artifact, and then you can use analyzers then to analyze that SBOM. So it's just a nice workflow, and I suppose other ecosystems are still figuring out. I think Maven is a little bit further along. They have like a plugin in order to generate an SBOM. I think there is stuff for NuGet and stuff like that out there that I need to investigate more. And there is a lot of tooling. Like, if you go to CycloneDX, they're one of the standards for SBOM. They're another one at SBDX. CycloneDX has a lot of tooling for specific ecosystems, and that's really helpful. So yeah, it's awesome. Early, and some of the workflows are more difficult. Also, it's hard to know how good is my SBOM and all that kind of thing. So still,
I think
done.
I think we're early in the game, right? So I think this is some of the stuff that's still coming out, but I think I'm glad that with security and supply chain stuff, you definitely do want to be early. That's where organizations want to be. So I super highly encourage the adoption of this. I think you called out the two formats, right, which are CycloneDX and SPDX. Now I know SigStore Cosign use the SPDX format, I believe.
Oh, I imagine. No, I think they support all of them. Both? I imagine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, awesome. There's a SWID is another one, but CycloneDX, SPDX are the ones that everybody is talking about. Like if you're attaching a signed SBOM, what you're actually doing is you're attaching an attestation. It's like an in toto attestation, and you're populating the predicate with the SBOM. So I imagine you can do that with any. I can just monitor the standard.
Yeah, I think the sort of analogy that I've heard before with SBOMs is kind of like, when you get a package, like a UPS package, and the UPS bill of materials that's on the top of it usually has details like what was it made out of, what is the size, weight of the package, and like not only that, but who handled it in different factories. So at any point,
who authored the code and who signed it, and all that kind of stuff is what SBOMs are about.
Rock on. So this is great because I think we love having you here because this is the best option for this, because really this can be a little bit tricky for folks to understand and follow along at home. So is there any way you could show us what this looks like? Because that would be really cool.
Oh, okay. Yes, I can do that. So what I can show you today is I have an image on Cloudsmith. I'm going to sign it, and then I'm going to use another tool so Cloudsmith does not generate your SBOM. You use other tooling for this, and we're going to use a tool from Anchor called Sift, and it's open source, and it aligns lovely with their other tool called Scribe, which analyzes the SBOM. You can build a little workflow, and then so while I do that, let's fingers crossed this works.
Fingers crossed for the demo gods. Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to this presentation. Let's see what happens.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, there's the Michael.
That's okay. You know, I was prepared for this.
Oh, there you go. Boom.
Good.
All right, Kira, it's all you. Take it away.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to start off with my repository because I've already pushed my image when I prepared earlier. Where did I put it?
Nice.
Oh, I found it. Okay, it's okay. Don't worry, guys. It's okay. So here we have a Ruby image. I downloaded from Docker Hub.
So importantly, this is a Docker image, so an OCI container image, right, that you're using, even though it's called Ruby.
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's a Docker image, OCI container image. And you can see here, this is where all the information about the cosine signatures will be. So we're going to start attaching those to this image. Okay, let's see.
So you're doing this live.
I know. I already regret
Exciting.
it. Okay. So what I've already done is I've already logged in to Cloudsmith, and I've already generated my cosine private key. So I've already done that.
Awesome.
If you want to find out how to do that, you can go to the SIGSOR documentation, or you can go to Cloudsmith has a reference to this documentation as well. Yeah, and I'm using the cosine keys, but apparently, like, you can actually keyless. Cosine has a keyless functionality at the moment, and it's under the experimental tag. I haven't tried it out, but that sounds pretty cool. Because who likes keys? Not me. Okay.
So you don't even have to remember it then. Nice.
No. And you don't have to store it. I think it's managing keys. That's the whole point of SIGSOR. Making signing easy. Don't need to manage anything. It just works using your email. So that's their philosophy. Okay, so I've signed. So it's really easy. Cosine sign, and I've used the key I've already generated, and it's against my my Ruby image. Sorry. So
awesome.
Let's see what that means. Just gonna refresh this page.
Can everybody see Kira's screen okay? Kira, do you want to zoom in a bit maybe?
Should I zoom?
Command plus, yeah.
I just zoomed out. It's the opposite.
Oh, really?
It's okay. I got it now.
Awesome.
Whoa. Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
UI change.
So here we've attached our cosine signature, and so we can verify that now. I've forgotten how to do that, but it's like cosine verify or something, and then use your public key. So you always use the public key to verify. I don't know how they do it with the keyless one. Okay, so now the next thing I'm going to do is generate an SBOM using this tooling from Anchor Sift. Okay.
And you have a webinar coming up with Anchor as well, right? I think you guys are going to do.
So Christopher Phillips from Anchor is going to have a webinar with us. We're going to talk about SBOMs, basically, just nonstop. And then it's called actionable SBOMs. So we don't what's the point of having an SBOM if you don't do anything with it, if nobody looks at it, and if you don't drive any actions. So what you want is to actually do something with your SBOM that's useful and makes you more secure. So actionable SBOMs, July 20th, tune in. So here we are, Sift, our image name, we're outputting in SBDX format, and then I'm just going to output to this file. Okay.
Nice.
Seems to be doing something. It's positive.
Loading image. If I had to guess.
Yeah.
Maybe if we give it a little sound effect, it'll push it along.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, imagine
That is
that.
so
Where did that
good.
come
Nice.
from?
Nice.
It
Okay,
helps.
okay. So let's have a look at this. I mean, it's really, you're not going to get a lot out of this. It's machine readable, so it's not for humans.
Nice. You
So
got this nice JSON format.
yeah, and it tells you all the software components in your package, and it tells you that's licenses and all that crack. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is to attach this SBOM as an attestation to our image. Okay. So
Sounds good.
yeah, sounds like a plan. So here we are, cosine attest, and I tell it the type, SPDX, and then predicate, and the name of the file. Okay, wait, no, that's the wrong name. SPDX SBOM is what I use. Minus key, that's my private key, and then this is the image name. So this will attach an attestation to my image, which is a signed SBOM.
So you're attesting your image. So you're literally saying, "Hey, I swear this is exactly the pieces of it."
You got it, yeah. Oh, forgot my password. Okay.
That is an important piece of this. Remembering
Yes.
your password.
Oh, this is why the keyless is very appealing to me.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, boom!
Okay.
Wow.
It seemed to work. Eek. So we see here, before we only had a signature. Let's see if we have an attestation as well. It could go either way. No, this is all good.
Yeah. We're doing
Look
a
at
lot
that.
of boom.
Yes. So, our attestation is there, sitting beautifully. Oh gosh, I don't know what I did there. I kept on clicking.
Clicked on it.
I shouldn't have done that. Okay. So next thing you want to do. Sorry, that was quite loud. I'm going to verify this attestation. So let's see.
So you're acting like another user who's come along and wants to verify that.
I want to verify it, and all I have is the public key to verify it. And the public keys are usually published anywhere. So I don't know if you want to. And then I'm going to output it to. I'm going to output it to a file. Okay, this is happening. Come on. Oh, yes, cosine counts are validated. Signatures are verified. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, it's happening. Okay, that's good.
Wow.
So it really is. And then I'm going to extract out that SBOM because, it was in like an in toto payload thing. So it's not just like this attestation output is like, it's like, yeah, not great.
Okay.
So you then need to parse it and use jQuery and all that crack. Now this is all, I actually have a GitHub workflow that will show you how to do this. So I can publish it somewhere for people to get at the end. So now we have we're extracting out that SBOM again from our attestation, like using jQuery. And we should get like a minified version of that SBOM that we originally attached. Oh, why isn't it? Why is it? Okay, why is it being weird? Yeah. Okay. This is an SBOM. Also not lovely to watch, but
well, the JSON is just not.
Yeah, it's not great. Properly. So let's do something with our SBOM. Let's like analyze it for vulnerabilities. That's a really nice workflow, analyze it. And I'm going to use another Anchor open source tooling called Gripe. Now,
Nice.
okay.
So this is where you can take an SBOM and actually see what components are on and actually validate whether any of those are vulnerable or have a CPU reported against them. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like above a level. Maybe you're critical or high. I think they're the kind of levels that we're talking about.
Okay.
We can actually see that from Gripe. I go to
Nice.
Gripe.
I have not used Gripe before, so this is pretty cool. I'm learning something on stream.
Gripe is great. And can we, okay, let's see, what can you fail on? The given severity. Oh yeah, negligible, low, medium, high, critical. So I'll fail on critical. That's how I roll. Okay, is it in s.ruby2? Yes, okay. Okay, so I'm going to use Gripe to analyze my SBOM.
Nice.
And I've outputted it to my vulnerability thing, and it'll tell me different vulnerability scores. What should I write it as? Okay. Ugh, this is horrible. But you can see like all the different vulnerabilities, and maybe we have one that's critical. Wait, oh, critical not found. What? Oh, sugar, because it's a new image. I'm like, oh, I always use this for image. Yeah. Okay, so there's no critical. So let's
That's okay. I mean,
yeah, we can fail on. So I'm going to run Gripe and then fail on critical. So we shouldn't fail, and then I'm going to fail it on high. 1 hour discovered vulnerabilities at or above the severity threshold. Oh, it did find a critical.
there you go. We might
There
have
you
had the
go.
wrong name there. But
So
now,
and then
now it's
what
showing it.
I'm going to talk about this new feature on Cloudsmith, which is quarantining. So you can actually quarantine. Where am I? Okay, I'm going to go back to my repository and my Ruby Docker image here. There's a new action that you can perform, which is quarantine. So what we can do here, and you can do this all with automation, is actually quarantine based on the severity that you discovered in your vulnerability scanner. So we can say quarantine, and then nobody can deploy this or download this Docker image, which is great. Yeah. And what I have here is so that's quarantine now, but you can do this with using the Cloudsmith CLI, and I'll just show you one of the workflows that I have. So I have a workflow. I forked this from Dan Lauren from Anchor, who heads up the open source department there. So Gripe and Sift, and I've set this up to run every night. And that, which is like, obviously this is not updated that often, but it gives you an example of what you can do. And here I've set to run Gripe against that particular image, and if I have a failure, I've set it to quarantine that image. So this is like an actionable thing that you can do with Cosign, Anchor's open source tooling, and Cloudsmith. So that's me. That's my demo done. That's me done.
Awesome.
Amazing.
So you not only
come on, Adil. I've got to do it.
I love it. So for the folks at home, just to follow along, thank you for popping us up, Mike. I appreciate it.
No
I think just to summarize some of the stuff that you did, so that everybody has an idea, and you can watch back the stream, and folks actually, as Kira said, tune into the webinar, because that's going to be probably a repeat of a lot of this stuff, but it done again one more time, so you'll be able to see it again, in an end-to-end format. But really, what you did was you generated that SBOM first of all, and then you used a tool like Gripe to actually analyze and see if the SBOM was passing all the vulnerabilities. And the nice thing about Cloudsmith here is you're failing as well. Go ahead.
Yes, like with Log4j, the critical vulnerability that really was quite devastating was I think it's like remote code execution level 10 on CVE, all this kind of thing. But that vulnerability wasn't published till January. So before then, there was no vulnerability to fail on, and it's only by constantly scanning the SBOM would you pick it up. So that new vulnerabilities are published for things that are already out in the wilds that were, when they were first published, that vulnerability wasn't there. So it's only later on that it was figured out.
Very cool. So this will actually allow you to check for that in this workflow that you've defined, and then also fail, or actually in the case of Cloudsmith, actionable stuff, let you quarantine this package, right? So that it won't make it into your production repos. Very cool. Very cool. Thanks, Kara. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Fantastic work. We do have a question though, so I'm just going to kind of flip us back here because the question is from Phil. It's not related to SBOMs, unfortunately, but we wanted to get it in here anyway. Maybe I'll let Adil field this question, but we can actually all talk about it if we'd like.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So I think I heard during the stream that Cloudsmith supports Deb and RPMs. Is there any guides to start doing that available? Also, is there a way to add a Cloudsmith badge back on our Git repo? That's a great question. So I'll answer the first part of that, which is, how do we go about adding, like Debs and RPMs, and how do we use them? I'm assuming, right? Is there any guide to start doing that available? So you can obviously throw up Deb and RPM packages into a multi-format repository, as we showed earlier. But then you have that nice contextual documentation there. If you want, I can share my screen again real quick, and we can take a look, Mike, if you prefer, just to give it, a little bit of an example there. So let's hop over to the examples repo, the packages again, and take a look. So for a Deb or an RPM, let's say there's an RPM image right there. Let me click the Set Me Up button, the little contextual doc there. So let's pick RPM in this case. So when I click on, not NPM, but RPM. So Red Hat, the package manager, RPM. So when we click on it, we have the Red Hat repository set up. So the great thing here is, again, like we said before, we have the nice contextual doc. So for each individual format, you have the ability to see that. So that's what's important here. So thanks, Phil, for that question, because I think I'm randomly switching back and forth. Sorry about that. But you have the ability. I wanted to make sure I addressed who it was from. So Phil, specifically around that, you have the ability to show in Yum how you can set this up in Red Hat CentOS or an Amazon OS image. You have different ways to install. It explains how to install packages, how you can manually configure the repo itself before before installing any packages from it as well. So you could permanently have that configured for your private repo and your individual images. So it gives you an easy way to be able to connect and use it. So again, this is for specifically a certain type of authentication, so that basic username password authentication. You can also use those entitlement tokens, and if the entitlement token is what you're using, then of course your commands would change a little bit because you're looking for that specific entitlement token GPG key, and the GPG the URL will change slightly there, and give you the way to configure that using the entitlement token as your auth, if that makes sense. Awesome. Nice, Phil. And there was a second part to that question. This is a good question. The little pieces of it that where it's we have Cloudsmith badges on Git repos. So I believe that's configurable from our open source projects, right, Kira? Can you help me understand that too? I'm not sure what the question.
I'm not sure about what I'm not sure what a Cloudsmith badge is, but I could look that up.
Yeah. I think on GitHub repos where you have the little thing at the top where it says this package, like Cloudsmith, okay, like when you go through certain CI and it passes certain steps, it'll say like capsule CI, okay. So I think the badge generally comes from you can use it when you set up a repo that you're hosting code from or packages from that are Cloudsmith hosted. So then you have the ability to put your badge up there. I know some open source projects that use us as a repository have the badge. Tell you what, Phil, I'm gonna do you one better. Why don't you throw that question to our support team, and throw that into the chat there, and we have an intercom chat that's on our our website, so you can pop up the little chat icon at the corner and talk to a real human person. So the lovely Dan and other folks are on that support channel, and then you can definitely ask that question there. And yeah, exactly. At the top of the READMEs on the repos, you have the little badges. So feel free to ping us, because you know what, everybody, if you sign up for a free account, you have access to our full support. So we treat everyone like a customer. So feel free to shout out to us, and or email support at cloudsmith.io if you prefer. But the chat is available on our website, so feel free to drop that question in there, and we'll make sure to get that badge thing fixed up for you.
Awesome work. Cool. All right. Well, I think, Kira, you agreed to also graciously stick by one more segment with us, the AV Club. Oh, you will regret it. But yeah, just moving along here. This is our last segment, the AV Club. This is where Adil and I get to geek out on some tech. Again, this is something that will be new for Adil from me, and vice versa. So Adil's going to actually send me a link.
I'm
Adil,
doing that now.
I think I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah, so it's actually really simple. It was just
so
yeah, the links in the chat now. But
it's in the chat now. Here we go.
Let me just talk about it, and then Mike can go find the link. So yeah, the idea is we just want to show off some new tech that we're playing with lately, and the new piece of tech is actually something that me and Mike recently got, which is the Wave mic arm. So something that Mike is already using, but I haven't set up mine yet, which is great because it actually is a super nice low profile arm and stays out of your way on a stream. So right now you can see this is on a longer, bigger arm and kind of in my way. The great thing about the low profile arm is it swivels right out of the way in the corner, and stays very low profile. Shout out to Glenn Sardi, who's probably not in the chat, from Australia, good friend of mine who actually tuned me into this. But the Wave mic arm low profile is my little tech of the month.
Oh, it truly is awesome. I'm tempted to provide a demo right now.
Scroll down so that people can see it working.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to. So here's what we're going to do. Yeah. We'll tempt the demo gods. We'll see what happens here. So I should be able to zoom out a bit here if I get on the right thing.
I meant scroll down on the page, Mike, to show people what it looks like.
Oh, I apologize. Oh, yeah. I was gonna demo it. I mean, come on. Okay, fine.
Oh, you want to demo it live?
They're gonna do a better job than I will. We'll try both. We'll try both. But yeah,
okay,
so this is the thing. It's super slick. It's super cool. It works really well. I mean, I feel like this is some product endorsement that we're not going to get paid for.
Yeah, I know. Elgato should send us free stuff. I mean, you have enough Elgato things, don't you?
Oh, it's ridiculous what's going on in here. If you guys could only see. All right. Anyway, yeah, it's awesome. We'll leave it at that. High quality construction. Why am I selling this thing? Let's move on.
I know. I just like that it folds out of your way. That's the important thing. It gets out of your way. Your workflow isn't interrupted on your desk. Kira,
I need a mic or something. I just use my Mac camera, my Mac microphone, audio. I don't know. Maybe their audio is better than mine. Probably. It's definitely invested more.
Doesn't my voice sound silky and smooth with this Elgato microphone and Elgato arm?
Yes, it's great, Mike. Well, like a true minimalist dev, Kira, you don't need to worry about all this stuff. You just got your MacBook and you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to some tech. Yes, Adil, you knew it was going to be audio related. This is a little something. I'm going to stretch it out a bit more. That I picked up recently. Kira is like, what is this, and how long is he going to talk about it?
It is a black box. That's all it is.
It's a beautiful thing. It's just
a USB stick.
It is about the size of a USB stick. I can actually show you live here what it looks like IRL. There or something like that.
Oh.
This is a little connector. So basically what it does, the tragedy of cell phones today is that headphone jacks are going away. Bluetooth.
I'm so glad.
I know.
I can't. All I have is headphone jacks. It's very...
Right? Yeah. I mean, they should remain. They're beautiful things.
Also, I have tiny, strangely small ears. And those... I can't get those...
No, Adele, we can't laugh at her.
Just the way that she said it. I'm sorry. It's awesome. Kira,
They just
you're a true gem.
fall out. They just fall out. Yeah.
Well, I
So
have a solution for you, right? So you have a new cell phone, probably an iPhone. It doesn't have a headphone jack. You get one of these beautiful items. It plugs straight in, and it gives you a headphone jack. You probably can't see this, but there's the holes there. There's a fancy high-tech audiophile one. There's a regular one. Anyway, I've been playing around with it with some of my headphones, even though my phones do have headphone jacks. And I'm going to tell you, it sounds spectacular. It's amazing. We get all this high-res audio, and I think the one line that I really like down here, where is it? Oh yeah, I'm stretching this out so you can just read it. It says it is stunningly suave all metal construction. Ooh.
So,
Ooh.
okay. Well, I think for the benefit of the audience, well, I mean, a little bit of explanation as to what this does. Sure, it gives you a audio jack mic, like for your thing, a headphone jack. But in addition to that, it is a DAC, right? So you want to tell people what that is?
Yeah, it's a digital to audio converter. So, anytime you have headphone speakers and you're playing digital music, it's got to get converted. This is what it does. It's a bit of an amplifier as well. But I mean, really, the essence of it, it's like it's going to take music from your digital device, allow you to plug in a pair of wired headphones, and it's going to sound amazing. I know people can use Bluetooth, but the reality is Bluetooth kind of sucks. So.
I agree. Though, so one point of clarification, you said digital audio converter, but I think it's digital to analog, right? Converter.
Oh, it is. Sorry. Yeah, my brain's off.
Yeah.
It's still in the morning for us.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you, Jill.
It's fine.
Digital to analog converter.
it changes everything. So.
I know.
See, this is
I know. It's so important that I pointed it out, right, Kira?
Actually, you know what it is? It really is, because I would go back and watch this and be like, what did I just say? And Adil, why didn't you correct me? So thank you.
Anytime. I live to do this. Yeah.
You live to give. All right. Well, I think we just have our wrap up here. Kira, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
No, all good.
Is there any tech that you want to talk about before we?
You know what? I have one more thing, like a weird sound effect I got to play. So you have a thought. I'm going to introduce it in a big way. I'm building up the hype. Are you ready? Here we go.
Okay, let's do it.
I better come up with something good.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. I just thought
I think one of the things we were talking about before was I think you're we were talking on a Zoom call before, and you had mentioned before that you were looking at headphones, or you're thinking about getting a pair of headphones. But
yes, but ones that don't. I like well, I just don't want those big. Not that there's not anything wrong with what you're wearing. I'd like a comfortable pair of.
You like an earbud. You like an earbud.
But I just like the way they look, but I don't like them because they fall out of my ears, so they're useless.
Yeah, I mean, they do make some smaller size one of these, but I mean, if you want audio quality, you gotta bite the bullet.
Yeah, I will say this though, for Kira's benefit, because she, I mean, everybody's a user and they use things the way they want to. So if you don't want over the head cans like this or over the ear cans, you want the earbud design. So you're looking for it to actually be in your ear. You don't want a big bulky thing. Totally your choice. And you can still get decent quality sound. There's plenty of if you want to get fancy, there's in-ear monitors and IEMs and stuff. But for the average user, right, who just wants something that's functional and gets out of their way, I would say that there's a lot of earbuds now that are coming with comply foam tips, so memory foam type tips, and you have the ability then to push them into your ear a little bit, and the memory foam will expand into your ear canal, so it'll actually seal it, so they don't fall out as easy.
It's just a tiny bit gross, like.
Oh yeah. Well, it's either the headphones or the earbuds. It's your call, right? Whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go for the big guns.
I think the Princess Leia look will look really fantastic on you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I agree.
All right. Well, I think we bored you enough about headphones. So, Adil, let's say goodbye to Kira, and then we'll wrap things up.
Bye, Kira. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
The green screen. You were my witness. Before we started this, I had it
Uh-huh.
working, and like oddly enough, not every scene was compliant. So I'm gonna have to work on that one.
Well, the great thing, the great magic of live is that we can fix it as soon as we go, right with you, Cam.
Let's just fix it in post production.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Well, hey, Adil, that was great. We got our first one out of the gates. Kira was fantastic, as
She
expected.
was.
She fully delivered. You did a fantastic job as well. We had amazing comments and questions. We actually had people show up. I mean, like, no complaints here.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I do want to shout out everyone for showing up. I think we know your time is valuable, and you choose to spend that with us, so we do really appreciate that. And again, we look forward to your questions and your input. Right. So feel free to ping up me at Adilio on Twitter and the socials, or find us somewhere, or just ping us at the Cloudsmith website, and let us know what your feedback is or what your questions are for next time, or any ideas you have for us. Again, you are the community, and we do this for you, and we do the stream to kind of engage you folks, and keep you interested. And so we very much say that we are built for devs by devs. So your feedback will very much help guide how we build the stream, but then also how we build Cloudsmith too. So go ahead, and I encourage you to go and try our product out. Like, log in for a free trial. Again, I said no credit card required. Play with it for 14 days. Come onto the stream next time we do it and ask us those questions, and we can even configure some stuff live if you want. So really, really important to go and check it out if you can. It's a free trial, no commitments again, and help us make our product and the stream better. So we want to say we appreciate you very much. But I will say before we leave, Mike, and one important thing we didn't get to, but which we'll do now. So the
Yes.
person who was very active in the chat here, I think we got a few questions from, was Phil. So congratulations, Phil. You are our winner for today. So feel free to reach out at support at cloudsmith.io after. And what we'll do is, or reach out to me on Twitter, DMs, or whatever you want. And we'll be sure to get a piece of swag your way. So feel free to ping us, and you're the first winner. So thank you.
I had to
Uh,
do it. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's great. And thank you for bringing that up, because I was going to say we have to deliver on our promise to get some swag out to somebody. So yeah, Phil, congrats. Well, I think
And
that's it,
runner up, Josh
Adil.
King.
Yeah. I think that's it, Adil. We just have our little sign off and an outro, and we'll see everybody next month.
Yep.
So
Thanks for
thanks,
joining us,
everybody.
folks.
Yeah, thanks, everybody, for showing up. And remember,
Be awesome.
and automate everything.
Nice.